you doing, all the beautiful sons of bitches? It's your boy Baxter here, and today we finally got Solar on for one of these, and we're going to review issues 11 to 14 of the original Star Wars Marvel comics. Are you guys hyped?
Yep, well, we put in quite the performance.
Yeah, that you guys will never see.
It's honestly the best part of this.
Yeah, so we open up issue 11, Star Search. So Han and Chewbacca leave Aduba 3 in the Millennium Falcon, only to be captured once again by Crimson Jack and his gang of pirates. Princess Leia Organa had also been captured by the pirates while on her way to the Drexel system to find out what happened to Luke Skywalker, and Jack intended to hold the princess for ransom. Han and Leia secretly devise a ruse to trick the pirates into taking them to the Drexel system by claiming that the rebels have stockpiled a treasure there. While suspicious of Han's plan, Jack's greed gets the better of him, and he decides to trust the rebels for the time being. Meanwhile, on Drexel, Luke, R2-D2, and C-3PO are stranded on their wrecked spacecraft floating in the huge ocean that covers the planet and are attacked by a giant sea dragon. So, guys, thoughts on this issue right here?
It's a fun little adventure. I forget if it's this one or the next one where they're explaining how where Crimson Jack explains how he got.
No, I think that's the next one, John.
Yeah, well. Yeah, it's a good little setup here for the next story arc. Only it's too problematic because Princess Leia is made into a damsel again, and then she just keeps getting captured by everybody throughout these issues. So clearly the authors were sexist, and we need to erase all copies of this.
Yeah, Solar, what were your thoughts on this issue here?
They mirror John's thoughts right now.
Yeah, pretty much. The issue is overall fine, but if I had to be a nitpicky asshole, I'd say that the cover for this issue was kind of a fucking lie, because you spend most of the issue with Han and Leia and company on Jack's vessel. He nabbed a fucking Imperial cruiser, and he made that his flagship, basically. He nabbed that, and it's mainly on this. But if you see the cover, it's like, oh shit, Luke's on a fucking water plane. He's shooting at a fucking giant sea serpent. I want to read that. But that only comes in like the last 2 issues. But yeah, like John said, it's fine setting up this story. So, other than that, not much really to complain about here. But speaking of the authors, this was also the first, this is the first issue that by acclaimed comic writer Archie Goodwin, and he would go on to be like pretty much be like the longest tenured writer on the original Marvel comics. And for those who don't know, Archie Goodwin, he at one point was also the I think he was also editor-in-chief of Marvel at one point, but his tenure was really brief that way. But he's also best known for his work with the Vampirella, the DC character Manhunter, not to be confused with Martian Manhunter, Luke Cage, Iron Man, and the anthology comic Epic Illustrated. And for artists, they also got acclaimed Silver Age DC Comics artist Carmine Infantino, who's perhaps best known for being the co-creator of Barry Allen, The Flash. So there you go. There's a little bit of comic trivia for you. Anyways, we move on to issue number 12 here, Doom World, which was a title so good they decided to name the original the first trade paperback of this comic after it. But anyway,
it's also used in Marvel comics years later after Doom takes over that world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, so in issue 12, Luke and the droids 3PO and R2 are stranded on the water world Drexel. While floating in their escape pod, they're caught in the middle of a battle between the sea dragons, ridden by the Dragon Lords, and the Hydra craft piloted by Governor Quarg's men. The combatants are battling for the prize of Luke's wrecked ship, as anything mechanical is a rare commodity on the ocean-covered planet. The battle ends in a standoff, off, but Luke and the droids are captured by the skimmer pilots and brought back to their base, where Luke tries to convince Quark that the droids would be more useful to them intact than stripped down for parts. Meanwhile, Han Solo is leading Crimson Jack and his gang of pirates to the Drexel system under the pretense that there is treasure to be found, but the pirates become suspicious when they arrive, and the only planet in the system is entirely covered in water. So, so John, thoughts on this issue?
I think I brought it up in this one or the last one where I was like, man, they really need to decide on what the fuck Chewie actually looks like in these comic books. Because it's like sometimes he's got a white upper face, sometimes it's all brown, like in the movies, it's all fur. Then, like in one, it was like a random, like it had the white, like shaved face, and then it had the cheeks like shaved. And it's just like, guys, he only looks one way. You're switching in between the same issue sometimes. Like I can kind of understand if you change authors or something, but this is just the same person and they're just fucking it up.
Yeah, what the fuck, Carmine? Yeah. Anyways, John, you also want to say something about how Jack got his ship now?
Oh yeah, they actually give like background, make it make sense. They're like, oh, it was after a battle where the rebels had already won a victory. We came upon it. We thought it was like derelict, but it was actually just like a lot of system failures. We were able to take down the guys and discovered it was mostly cosmetic damage and everything. Like they actually make it logical as to how someone got a Star Destroyer rather than, you know, if this happened in Ahsoka or something, they would just be like, how did you guys get a hold of this, Ahsoka? And she'd be like, I have my ways.
We have our
never
methods.
fucking explain it at all.
Yeah. Fucking. Yeah. Anyways, Solar, any thoughts on this issue here?
Well, with the war with these pirates and the Dragon Lords, it reminds me of the Beast Riders of Onderon. You
Oh
remember that?
yeah. Oh yeah. We'll get to that one of these days, folks. Believe it. But well, that's a story for another time. Anyway, overall, this issue was pretty good. Things are ramping up here. So yeah, another thumbs up for me on this issue. Anyway, so on to issue 13. I forgot what this one's called, but anyway. On Drexel, Luke Skywalker decides to join Governor Quark's group in their battle against the Dragon Lords, at least for the time being. Meanwhile, aboard Crimson Jack's space cruiser, Han Solo is trying to talk his way out of trouble when Jack and his crew realize that they have been duped into coming to Drexel. But Quark's jamming equipment on the planet's surface causes a disruption on the space cruiser, which is enough for a diversion to allow Solo, Chewbacca, and Princess Leia Organa to escape in the Millennium Falcon to the surface below. The Falcon splashes onto the water-covered surface of Drexel, right in the middle of an epic battle between Quark's men piloting Hydra craft and the Dragon Lords. One of the Hydra craft attacks the Falcon just as its occupants are exiting from its top hatch. Luke, who's also piloting a Hydra craft in the battle, immediately turns on his new comrades and rushes to save the fallen rebels. He only finds Chewbacca, who, thinking Luke was responsible for the attack, becomes enraged at the young rebel. So, John, thoughts on this issue?
Yeah, it's a nice little progression of the story. How they kind of keep going with the gradual ramping up of action into the showdown. They get a little bit into the sea serpents and such. And then, basically that governor is just a fat fuck who's just like, everybody will go hang if they don't obey me. And I'm going to constantly kill all the scientists and stuff because I'm stupid.
It's like, you fucking idiot. If you hang all your dudes, you won't have any dudes fucking left, asshole.
Just all the smart
I didn't even see any woman on the crew.
Yeah, so they're definitely fucked. Anyway, they also go into his backstory of like how his dad showed up to this planet and how the war with the Dragon Lord started. What'd you guys think of that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it made sense. It was like he was basically taking advantage of the Republic's sort of negligence. And then eventually the Republic comes and gets him, but they can basically they're basically explaining how they pull the ships out of orbit and shit. So it was pretty good.
Yeah. John, any other things you wanted to say on this issue?
Trying to think of what would come to mind other than the Macho Man Randy Savage's cameo, but
Yeah. I don't know. Apparently, for some fucking reason, we got 3 of Quark's crew. One of them looks like Macho Man Randy Savage. One of them looks like Sergeant Slaughter, and one of them looks like Terry Funk. Apparently, Carmine Infantino was just a big WWF fan when he was busy making these comics, but whatever. Anything else, John?
Well, is this issue or the last one where where he's like, "Hey, I got Leia now."
I think it's either this or next one. I can't remember, but yeah it's one of these.
Basically, Leia is used as a hostage. Han frees her, and then she's immediately made into a hostage again by fucking this guy. I think she likes it. I don't know. I think she likes playing that part.
It's like that one episode from TCW where Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Dooku were captured every 5 minutes.
Yes. John, any other thoughts?
I think that's it for this issue for now.
Solar, what were your thoughts on this issue?
It makes me wonder if the stuff with the Jedi intervening with the Quark's dad is picked up on in some later comics.
I'm looking right now at the Drexel system does appear in the Old Republic MMO, but I highly doubt it's followed up on. So I don't know. Solar, you're probably gonna need to do some research of that on your own, Solar. But anyway.
All right.
Anyway, so then we move on into the final issue we read, The Sound of Armageddon. On the water world of Drexel, Governor Korg has used his sonic jammer to cause the Millennium Falcon to crash into the water near his giant city ship. Han is believed dead, while Luke, Chewbacca, and the droids are imprisoned inside of Korg's galleon. Korg has simultaneously been waging a war against the Dragon Lords, who even now attack his ship, riding atop giant sea dragons. Korg has now turned his sonic jammer towards an even greater prize, a stolen Imperial battle cruiser locked in Drexel's orbit. The pirate, Crimson Jack, and his first mate, Jolly, attempt to break free of their ship's systems lock, but find that they are trapped. Han, meanwhile, is not dead at all. The Dragon Lords have rescued him and have taken him to a secret underground cave. The leader of the Dragon Lords tells Han that Quark's sonic jammer is driving the sea serpents mad and slowly killing them. Han agrees to help if they agree to help him in return by salvaging the Millennium Falcon. Governor Korg has found Leia hiding within the Millennium Falcon and chases her back onto the city ship. Believing that Han is dead, Chewbacca goes berserk and breaks free of the prison. Luke has been forced into doing Korg's dirty work until he reunites with Han, who explains to him what the sonic jammer is doing to the dragons. Luke rescues Leia and knocks Korg from the city ship into the ocean, killing him just as the jamming equipment is destroyed by the Falcon. So John, thoughts on this issue?
So this is a product of kind of before Chewie was more defined, because they basically make him into like an unintelligent idiot because he doesn't like recognize Luke or anything. He's just like, "Oh, you're not Han. I'm gonna kill everybody."
either that or again, like Chewie's just too stupid to realize that Luke wouldn't do it. But then again, Luke is too stupid to explain that I didn't shoot him down. It was some other guy.
He's like, all you humans look alike to me.
Anyway.
And you know, the explanation for the Dragon Lords and all that, that made, you know, more sense than, again, any conflict in Disney Star Wars, where you know, they sort of explain the fracturing of their little group and how basically the dragons are intelligent. Those little lizards that they introduced earlier, they sort of foreshadowed this when 3PO was taking his oil bath and the little lizards were sneaking up on him and everything. They're basically spies because they're baby versions of the dragons that the sea dragons that they ride.
Harmless nuisances, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they actually set it up and resolve it pretty intelligently here. Chewie's knocked out by a like a fire extinguisher on R2, so that was a little bit of an ass pull. But you
Yeah.
know they made it work. They tried to trip him before 3PO did like the lay down behind the person while you push them sort of thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Anything
Also,
else, John?
that
Anything else, John?
Mm, not too much. Oh, throughout this whole thing, it has been funny. I think her name's Jolly. That
Yeah.
the sexy assistant who's you know, probably if this came out today, they'd all say that she was queer coded because she's all against men in the beginning. But then Leia starts confusing her with thoughts of heterosexuality because she's like, well, you know, men are pretty great sometimes. That Han Solo's a pretty good kisser. And she's like, and she uses it to like explain all of her mistakes throughout the thing. She's like, I was just too angry because that Princess Leia talking about kissing men.
Yeah. Anyway, Solar, any thoughts on this issue?
I also wanted to bring up when Han Solo and his in his diving suit looks like Mega
He
Man.
looks like Mega Man,
Yeah, he's got
yeah.
the little like tight
Like
thing going on his forehead. Yeah. It's like Luke, if I defeat one of these serpents, I'll get their powers and then I can help you out.
Nice. Anyway. Anything else, guys, before we wrap this video up?
A nice little start and conclusion. It's like I said, a conflict that actually makes sense. It managed to have three factions sort of warring, and it actually set up all the sort of three-part finale. It all made complete like sense and played into the story between Han's escape and you know the Redbeard guy. He's got to deal with basically getting pulled down to the planet using all of his power for that. And that also explains why the bad guys, they're like kind of tempted by the big haul of pulling down such a big ship, so they're concentrating on that too while fighting the dragons and everything. So it makes like a three-way duel, and how the heroes navigate it like it all plays into them pretty perfectly.
Yep. Solar, any thoughts on these overall on these four issues?
I'm quite liking it. It's very interesting to see the expanded universe. Well, it was in diapers basically.
Yeah, before they had anything other than A New Hope, they were basically just like we said with Chewie, they're just kind of like making a lot of stuff up as they go.
It's like very raw, if it makes sense.
And they keep calling them Star Warriors just because the movie, and then the obvious, because the movie was just called Star Wars. It wasn't even A New Hope at that point. And then and then the fucking comic is called Star Wars. So they're just like, oh, these main characters in it, they must be the Star Warriors.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when
we're
they
still
randomly pull
looking
out
for the
Z-Fighters.
4,000 Warhammers. For
Yeah.
40,000 Warhammer.
Anyway. Well, anyways, guys, that's going to be all it for this episode. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, please give a thumbs up, comment below, subscribe for videos like this, and we'll see you guys next time in the back seat. Take care.